Oh, hello, and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show we talk about movies, and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello! Today, though, is something, we're doing something different.
Yes.
If you follow us on Patreon, or if you're a member on YouTube, hey, patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. If you're on YouTube, just hit the membership button. You will have known in our last exclusive episode that we discussed pivoting the podcast a little bit, or trying at least something new.
Yeah.
Because of dwindling views and stuff. Although our latest episode have done pretty well so far, which is ironic then. Because it was like, yeah, it's going pretty bad. We should try to do something different. And then everyone was like, oh, no, we're back. Okay. But we'll still...
Well, also, we kind of want to do things differently sometimes. You want to change it up sometimes.
Yeah. So, this is not going to be the new format. This is just something I had wanted to do for a while. And we have kind of done it before, but not actually dedicated a full episode to it. And it was on Patreon as well. We're going to talk about music today.
Yes.
More specifically, I forced my sister to listen to John Frusciantes' 2009 album, The Empyrean, which is not really something you would listen to voluntarily, I think.
No,
it's not really your thing,
had heard one of the songs before.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah.
And yeah, we don't do music reviews. I think I've done one music video essay before, talking about King 810's latest or first three albums. So this is I don't know how do you review an album? I don't know.
How do you frame this?
Yeah. So this is, like I said, this is going to be very experimental, kind of like the album.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah, I already said what we're going to talk about, but we're talking about John Frusciantes' album, The Empyrean. Ooh! Still do that intro.
Sure.
Yeah. Like we said, produced between 2006 and 2009. It took a long time to make it. And it's his last like rock-influenced album. Like, obviously, maybe you don't know his name, but you know the guitarist from Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's the guy, John Frusciante. I would say one of the best living guitarists, lead guitarists, living ever. I would say. He's a modern Jimi Hendrix, I would say, when it comes to just the way he plays and how good he is at like making the guitar come alive. And of course, everyone knows him from Red Hot Chili Peppers. But he's also had a very prolific solo career. Starting in the 90s, he released, what the hell is it called? Neanderthals and Usually Just a T-Shirt, I think it's called. Was his first, like, official release in 94. Which is just a collection of, like, acoustic songs. Some are, like, I think experiments with electric guitar. And he is just completely strung out on heroin throughout the entire recording. It is strangely like affecting in that way, because kind of like how you get very honest when you're drunk. He gets the same, although he's also like completely, like I said, strung out, so he's just ranting. But it's also a very, very honest album. If you can get past the noise of him like coughing and there's bad recording, and it's interesting.
The description on YouTube Music is
for Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the debut album, Yara Yara, released in 94. He recorded it when he left Red Hot Chili Peppers in 92, after he became overwhelmed by their newfound popularity.
Yeah.
He became severely depressed, developed a serious drug addiction, and isolated himself in his home to record music.
Yeah.
This is basically a like stream of consciousness style with guitar, piano, and effects on a 4-track recorder.
Yeah, it is awesome if you like that kind of music.
And it's like, I guess, the start of his rehabilitation as well then, because 2 years later he rejoined Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, he I don't know if it was, I think it was around the same time. He almost died because of a house fire.
Oh.
So, yeah, you know, he was nodding out and probably left like a cigarette litter or something.
Yeah.
And he lost all his guitars and stuff like that. So then he rejoined Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think that was that would have been later. Anyway, you know, it was, well, he kind of he goes back and forth with Red Hot Chili Peppers. I know Californication was a big return, and it's also, you can also, we're not going to talk too much about Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you can kind of chart their success, like, oh, this album is great, because John Frusciantes is on it, and then he exits the band, and they're like, yeah, it's an okay album. It's like, oh, Californication, what a great album, because he came back. Oh, okay. Every time he joins, it's very different.
Right.
Because he brings a different creative force to the music.
Well, I'll give you that. He's very creative based on just the lyrics and the music he wrote for the Empyrean. Oh my god!
And that's a good segue then into Empyrean, which is partly about creation, creation in creating things, but also creation in like
decreation,
becoming. Yeah, exactly. But before we get into
there's literally a song called God, so
yeah. But just to kind of start the conversation off, what did you think of the Empyrean?
Some of the songs I really liked. I mean, Song to the Siren is the one I've heard before, and I do like that one.
Which we should point out, it's a cover. He reworked some of the lyrics.
But I'd heard his version.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard the other version.
No. There's a couple of other versions. Tim Buckley wrote the original.
Yes. He and someone else wrote the original. I had to look it up. Now, I'm not a super big fan of, like, instrumental guitar stuff.
Yeah, the opening track is just a, like, 8-minute solo.
I enjoy guitar solos when they're live and you watch a show.
Yeah.
I don't like them on a record.
No, definitely, yeah.
I feel that the sentiment doesn't really come across when you're not watching the person play.
Because you want to see them do this
feel it, basically.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. No, I get it.
Just listening to guitars is like, sure, yeah. I mean, you're obviously talented, but that's it. Yeah. I don't get it. A lot of these songs have long portions of guitars only. Jesus
yes,
Christ,
they have a few of the songs have, almost every song has very long instrumental outros.
Yes.
I just want to say also, before the beginning is the first song. That's the
that's
long
the intro.
Solo,
yeah.
Which is also not a cover, but it is heavily inspired by. It's a song called Maggot Brain by Funkadelics. Hold on, let me check it up. Maggot Brain.
Is eating my
Funkadelic, Maggot Brain, which is also an amazing song, Maggot Brain. The whole album is cool, but that song is amazing, Maggot Brain.
Sure.
So it's inspired by that with the drums and kind of the tone of the guitar and stuff. But anyway,
it's like it's not bad. It's just, I'm not vibing to it on a random Tuesday.
No. And I'll say this, kind of why I thought of this album specifically is because I have listened to it on and off since it came out. It is maybe my favorite album of all time. But recently, like this year and a lot of last year, I haven't listened a lot to music, like just here and there. I've been listening more to podcasts and watching movies and stuff. But then, like a couple of months ago, I started thinking like, I should try to like, list my top 100 albums of all time. I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of albums that just immediately went on the list because they're like ones that I always have kept listening to.
They're always in your head, basically.
Yeah. And one of them is the Empyrean. So, and then I was just like, oh. So in the last few weeks, I've just been listening to not the whole album, but I've been listening to my like favorite songs, which is basically all of the songs. But even when I listen to this album like from beginning to end, I do skip before the beginning. Because it's a 9-minute like intro that doesn't really connect to the theme of the rest of the album, other than I guess it's the beginning of creation. He starts creating by just riffing out a solo.
Sure.
But yeah, I do skip that one. And that's actually, I mentioned that to you when we talked about this. It's a common theme with some of my favorite albums, where the second song is like the best song on the album almost.
Yes.
There's a lot of albums like that, and this is one of them. I don't think Song to the Siren
My favorite band had the same thing.
Okay. I don't think... It used to be Song to the Siren was my favorite, but I think it has changed. Like in the last few weeks, when I listened to it, I think my favorite now is actually One More of Me, than its second to last song. Oh, by the way, before we continue, when you listen to the album, does it end with the song after the ending? Or does it have...
Yes.
Okay. Because there is a...
I realized there's like 3 versions or something.
Yes, there's at least 2 versions. Because there is a re-release or whatever that came out a few years later, which had 3 bonus tracks. Today, Ayom, and Air, I think they're called.
Air. There's
Here,
one
Air.
that has just Ayom and Here Air, and then there's... Where's Today? Why am I opening the same one again? Jesus Christ. Sometimes YouTube Music isn't the best.
I still use Spotify.
But I listened to the one that was just the 10 songs.
Yeah, there was when it was released on iTunes back in the day, Ayom was the first like bonus track, and then the Japanese version had Today and Ayom, and then the 2010 he had a free download of the I think of the whole album, which also then included Here Air. So those three songs, Ayom, Today, and Here Air, are bonus tracks.
Why can't I find Today?
And I say, those I have not listened to a lot. They're not bad. It's just when I first found the album, it was the original release from 2009. So I listened to that over and over and over again. And then the other songs came a little later, and I was like, they don't really fit in now to the playlist, so to speak, to the album, so to speak.
I can't find it on an album, but I can find it as a music video on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I think weird. Since it was it was Here Air that was released as their own download, whatever. It's not on Spotify. It used to be on Spotify. That version of the album, but it's not anymore. I don't know. But like I said, I never really listened to those songs anyway.
So I haven't heard Ayom or Here Air or Today at all at the moment. So we're only talking about the 10 first, yes. I guess.
So before we get into like
analyzing
the lyrics and stuff, let's just I don't know. Yeah,
I didn't say what I thought of the album.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So what
kind of interrupted me.
Sorry. Yes. So what did you like the album in general? What did you think of it?
In general, it's all right. It's not my favorite kind of music, so I'm not gonna say it's fantastic. I can appreciate that it's good music, obviously. I'm a little bit like, I don't like the change of tempo and tone that is very drastic sometimes between the songs.
Yeah.
I need a smoother transition than that. Because I tend to listen to music, if it's on an album, I listen to it in the order they are. I don't change it up too much.
No, yeah. Me neither.
And there are other albums that have the same issue that I listen to frequently, and I just don't put like the most sad, boring, or slow song, and then afterwards you have like, well, actually it's usually the other way. It's the super peppy, like hip, whatever, fun song, and then sad, blue, I'm crying straight after. I'm like, Jesus Christ, the emotional whiplash is a lot. This way it's the opposite. It's Song to the Siren and Unreachable that are like the main issue for me.
I was gonna say,
Jesus Christ,
where is that switch? Yeah, okay, Song to the Siren and Unreachable.
Yeah,
because Unreachable it's a little bit too the most upbeat song.
Yeah, it could have come after like I don't know any other song really.
Yeah.
And it would have been a better, easier transition, because it doesn't really fit with the rest of the songs either. They're not super upbeat. But that one just feels very upbeat, and to have that just after Song to the Siren is a little bit too jarring for me.
Yeah, and that's also, like you said, because "Song to the Siren" is a cover.
Yes.
It definitely plays into the theme that, for me at least, a big deal or a big theme of the album is. But I think that's also very, like, it's subjective, of course, what I think the album is about. That's because I usually read that into stuff I like. It's about death. Death, life and death, but more kind of accepting of death. Although I know
heard more of the, like, life, honestly.
Well,
just...
yeah, but death being a part of life.
Sure.
But I gotta say though, a lot of music that I tend to like, I read that into it. Like I mentioned, I did a video about the 3 first albums of King 810, whatever they call it.
I've seen your video.
Same thing, but I know that is like, it's very, very obvious in the lyrics. But I definitely in the comments people have mentioned, like, you're reading a bit too much into it. And I even mentioned that in the video, like, this is my interpretation.
Yeah.
So I tend to do that. I don't know why. But
it's part of your creative vein, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You do that a lot, though. When if you have a certain theme you usually go with when you write stuff or you create your own things, you'll read that into other people's creations.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of talk about time and, like,
yes,
not being afraid of letting go, which I always say, oh, you mean dying? That because that's just the next step of life, really, and which also leads into his hold on, pause.
One eternity later.
Where were we? I
don't know.
We were talking about the creative process.
Yes,
something.
I guess.
No, yeah. Let's go back. Yes, I tend to read in my
death into everything.
yes. No, yeah. Oh, that was it. That even though, because what he talks about a lot is time. I mean, he mentions God. "Song to the Siren" is about, like,
getting shipwrecked and drawn into sirens.
Well, that's literally
a metaphor for.
It's a metaphor for. For love, and it can also be a metaphor for just, because even, I mean, he literally says in the end, should I, what does he say? He says something, should I nothing amid the breakers, or should I lie with death, my bride? He says. What is the lyric?
He says, should I stand amid the breakers, or should I lie with death?
Like, should I actually like, should I push on even though I've lost what I love, or should I just give up, basically?
Yeah,
because that's what it's about. He has lost something. Literally, it's a girl.
Yes,
but figuratively, it's, something you cherish. Yeah.
And basically, his loved one is calling to him from death, going like, "Come to me, you can be with me, I can embrace you. I'm waiting to hold you."
I think it's that kind of struggle continues throughout the album, where he's like struggling with should he choose life or death. That's at least how I read it. But I know that his religion, which he doesn't, it's one of those religions that is like good in a way that they're not trying to, like, recruit more people by like chanting and sermoning. Like, he literally says,
being seen.
Yeah, he literally says in an interview, like, like, part of my religion restricts me from talking about it. So it's like, oh, okay.
So you don't seek more disciples.
No, exactly. It's something you have to find for yourself. Yeah.
Because you need to find it.
Yeah.
That's when you find
it. I'm sure he's mentioned exactly what it is.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. But that's also part of like his religion, this whole creative spirit, so to speak. And there's a lot of speak of heaven and God and time not being an aspect of his existence, because he is beyond that. He is everything and nothing, especially towards the end of the album.
I mean, God, the song God is literally just him, like, if I was God, this is what I assume I would think about.
Yeah. and once again, then, talking about how God has the power to create things or just take things away. Yeah.
It's a creation, not something I did, it's something that I do.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep creating. It's just not just a finished process. It's never just a finished process.
And also then that when you can create something, that's a little bit of like the godly power that you have.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember who said that, but it's an author that says that, like, whenever you write a story, you're a god of your own universe, basically.
Yeah. Or I mean, just in general, like this.
Well, yeah.
This whole thing that for a lot of like religious people, like God is he's so like important. Like, I understand why he's important to religious people, but it's like, but at the same time, like, because he can create life, and I was like, you know what we can do? We can literally create life, like. Well,
I have it written down, but I didn't write down who said it.
Mm-hmm.
But the quote I have is, when you write, you become a god of your own tiny, intricate universe.
Yeah. Which is kind of the theme of the Mist series. And how that...
Might have been Terry Pratchett, then.
Well, he didn't do Mist.
No, I'm confusing him with... Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Because that is also about how that power of creation can corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I like the album. It's just, I'm not gonna like reach for it every day, because I am one of those people who listen to music like 8 to 10 hours a day.
Okay, yeah.
Since I'm working alone mostly.
Yeah.
And I tend to levitate towards more
upbeat music.
Upbeat music, to
easy
keep me
listening.
Awake.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't mind the challenge, and I do, like, every now and then I'll put on a sad song, and I put on something like this just because I want to vibe with that.
Yeah.
But overall, it's an okay album. It's just not my favorite. I would maybe top 100 is hard to say, but it wouldn't be top 10. I don't have a started list of my top 100 albums of all times, and I honestly don't think I can mention 100 albums at the moment.
No, I couldn't do that off the top of my head. I think my list after a few months now is up to like 50 or something.
Yeah, and you had forgotten some of our favorites, so...
Yeah. I think
how dare you?
50. And this one... Oh, it's actually... I didn't immediately write it down. It's actually... What the hell?
You haven't ordered them yet? You just put them down?
I just had them put down, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, no, okay. It's in the first, like, 12 albums, yeah. Do you have a favorite song? Oh, favorite and least favorite. I guess before the beginning is least favorite, but other than that, one that doesn't like vibe.
No, I don't know. I didn't like think of which one's which, because I just kept listening to them. Even if I like read the lyrics, I sometimes just don't remember what song is called what.
Yeah.
I like Heaven.
Yeah. Oh, that's also... We're way in here now. I don't know how much of the album I can actually, like, insert here when people listen to it. Because we're going to get copyright stricken immediately.
Oh, yeah.
So, maybe I'll do, like, 2 versions of it where we play some of the songs when we talk about them. And I'll put that on Patreon.
Yeah.
And I'll do the copyright-free version for YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, Central is good. Central, I think, is the, like... He didn't really make videos for any of the songs, but I think Central was, like, the single. I guess it's the most, like, poppy, snappy,
yeah, it is the most easy
approachable.
listening version, yeah. It sounds kind of like James Blunt for some reason.
Oh no.
It's his voice. Just he has different like way he chooses to sing. Really,
Yes.
and it's one of them where he sounds very robotic, and I can't for the life of me think of which one that is now. Is that One More of Me?
Wait, it's no, it's not. One More of Me is the one where he's very low. Now that the day has come.
All
That
right.
one. I think you're thinking of. Is it Enough of Me? No,
No, it's not enough.
it's
Does he sing in after the ending?
yes. Oh yeah, that's the one where he's very high up. He does a lot.
Yeah, and they're like adding
Effects on his
sometimes.
voice, yeah.
And make him sound like kind of robotic at one point, kind of like raspy, too raspy at one point.
No,
I think that's
that. I know which one that is. I just listened to it. Which one is it?
exactly. Which one is it? Because it switches so much, and it kind of freaks me out. I don't like it. God, see, I've just been listening to it from top to bottom, like 5 times today.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of like, I don't know which one's which anymore.
No, that's also the thing, because a lot of the songs they thematically connected, of course, but they also have like the same, I don't know, music thing. It's not exactly the same like chord structure, the same melody, but they're very similar, so they can, if you just play those specific songs, they almost like flow into each other. It's
Yeah, is it Dark and...
no, it's not dark. God damn
No,
it.
it's not Dark and Light.
Which one was it? Hold on. I have it.
Is it Heaven? Did I confuse Heaven with something else?
No, because Heaven is
No, because Heaven is nice.
hold on. Yeah. It is. No, wait. Unreachable has a bit of that effect. But then there is one where when he sings about the seasons that change. If the seasons that change are all still, it's so easy to see life would fail. Which one is that?
That's
because
Enough of Me.
It's Enough of Me, yeah, because that one...
Yeah, it is.
That one has that effect when he sings...
I think that's the one
if the
I
seasons
find a
which
little
change
bit...
were all still, it's so easy to see life would fail. Whatever slips out of our hands will find its way back to us once again. That has like a effect on it.
Yeah, and it is one of the later songs, because it's one of the last songs that I'm like, by now I'm like, why would you change it up like that?
Yeah.
I think it's Enough of Me. That's one of my least favorites.
Oh,
at least.
okay.
Song to the Siren has a place in my heart just because I know it.
Yes.
And I mean, I even know the lyrics by heart for some stupid reason.
Yes.
I have this weird thing where I remember
I
lyrics.
think I know the entire lyrics. At least when I'm listening to it, I can sing
When
along.
you're listening
Yeah.
to it, you can sing along. That's the thing. But the last episode, when we talked about it, I was like, I feel like I listened to it in like my Twilight era.
Yeah.
But it's not included in the Twilight
No.
movies. It's from it's in The Lovely Bones, I think. And I haven't seen that one. But maybe it just came up when you listened to music from the Twilight album. Because it's similar to the style.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know.
It came
And then,
around that
it just
time.
ended up on the playlist or something.
Yeah.
That's back when I had Spotify. I don't use Spotify anymore. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd say Heaven is probably one of my favorites, which is funny then that Enough of Me is the song right after, and that's one of my least favorites. And not counting, of course, them before the beginning, because I just can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
I do also have a bit of an issue with songs that are too long. I don't know. It becomes too much of the same thing
Yeah.
over and over. Kind of like a TV show.
Yeah. That's why I think it was last summer, maybe early this year or something. I wanted you to listen to Lateralis by Tool, where every song is like at least 9 minutes long.
Yeah, and they all have like 4 minutes guitar solos or
No,
something.
there's no solos, but yeah, there's a lot of instrumental parts.
Yeah.
But at least that's
can't-
prog metal or prog rock, so it's not monotone.
Sure, but I don't know. Unless it strikes like straight away and I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. I'm gonna have a hard time listening to it.
Yeah.
I also need I don't want to have to analyze and read the lyrics too much. Songs should be felt.
Sure.
studied.
I agree. But that is something. So let's get into more. We've talked a little about the themes and stuff.
Sure.
But what?
Get deeper into that.
Yeah, but like, because this is not an album that I have like studied, but it is one that immediately struck a chord with me. I think I heard "Song to the Siren" first. Well, I probably heard before the beginning because I was like, "Oh, John Frusciantes has an album out." And I just listened to it, and it was just something about the lyrics immediately grabbed me, and that's why I have like kept listening to it and have like learned the lyrics and actually like tried to not specifically sit down and analyze them. I actually have never done that, but it just throughout having listened to it so much, you like come to understand the lyrics, at least in the way you
Sure.
perceive them, so to speak.
Sure.
And that's why I think the album is so good. It's kind of a not self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's kind of like a circle in that something about the album immediately grabbed me. It was like, it just from the beginning, it's like, this is an amazing album because the song and the guitar and the lyrics. But then, because something just like something ethereal, something emotional just grabbed me, I did end up like through repetition analyzing it and realizing like, oh, this is actually a very like complex album, because I like complex music. We talked about that in the Patreon episode as well.
Yeah, and I'm not super into that.
Yeah. Because listening to the album over and over again, I realized that it's a very layered album. Like the more you listen to it, the more you like understand it. So and that's then I can say, oh, that is why it is good, even though I just had a gut reaction the first time I listened to it. This is great, like a good pop song can grab you.
Yeah, sure.
And we like I said, we discussed that. I like the struggle, like Nick Mullen said.
Yes.
Because usually when something is more complex than just, you can keep the rhythm and this is fun. There is more to mine there, but you have to try a little bit.
Sure.
But you will be so more fulfilled for doing it. That's what I love about music. But that's my favorite kind of music.
To be annoying then.
Yeah.
See, I can have that emotion with music, and I can even have it with music where I don't understand the lyrics at all, and I don't have to look them up. As long as you get one word or two that you know, okay, the song is pivoting in that direction. It's about love or loss or whatever. And you put in your own words to how the song makes you feel, how the sounds make you feel.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I want to... The sounds should make you feel things.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be what the lyrics actually are, because, oh god, there's so many ways to overanalyze songs and lyrics, and people take the wording, like, literally, you know, as soon as they mention, I don't know, difficulty or, like, fame or work or something. Oh, it's about struggling artists. No, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't.
Yeah. No,
that could be a metaphor.
Yeah, no, I
like, oh, you're ripping my heart out. No, it doesn't have to be about lost love.
And like I said, music doesn't have to be difficult, complex to be good.
No.
Like one of my all-time favorite songs, not albums, but songs. One that I like. I can be seriously like sad on the borderline crying, and if I play Party in the USA, I just for 4 minutes I just smile and I go like, yeah, yes, yes,
yep.
That is one of the few songs where I actually like, I can forget all my troubles. People say, I just want to forget my troubles for a few moments.
Yeah,
that doesn't work for me. Even if I like watch movies or whatever, I still like, oh yeah, a little break from the angst, but I still like, but I know as soon as the credits roll, it's gonna come back. Part in the USA, that's just like, yes.
I forgot what I was thinking
about. And then
about.
it's like, oh, fuck, when they come to repeat.
Yeah, no. And I have the same thing, but I have that mainly in the other way, that like, no, actually, honestly, any kind of song can do that to me. I had this discussion with my colleague, was it a couple of weeks ago or something? She said that she doesn't get emotional to music. And I was like, a really good song
Yeah.
can either make me cry or like dance.
Yeah.
And it could be right after each other if it's just good enough. I get goosebumps just because a song is good enough.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the person's voice. It's because of what the song makes you feel.
Yeah. For me, it's a combination of like the music, the song, and especially if you know if the artist was going through something, whatever, it adds so much more.
Definitely helps. Certain songs, when you know exactly what they are singing about, it just like from the first note you just start thinking about it and it brings you to tears, basically.
Yeah.
I have a few of those as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, listening to this, like singing it, say maybe not right now, but excuse me, the other day when I was kind of tired and I was singing, I think I was singing along to Enough of Me, and it's just like, no, it was One More of Me, the song, and it's just fucking tears. Oh my god! Around the end of the song, it's just too much. When it talks about,
none of the songs brought me to tears, really.
But at least I've been listening to it for over 10 years, like on and off all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's been with me through some very difficult times. It's in that way very, very, very personal to me.
Yeah. That's also a thing, of course.
Yeah.
Songs that just remind you of things. Well, obviously.
Yeah, I think music in that way is probably one of the more like one of those art forms that can be the most personal, I think.
Yes, but it's also because it's one of the more accessible ones.
Yeah.
It's one of those that you can have with you in a different way. Like, sure, a book can also evoke emotion.
Oh, yeah,
but
sure.
You're not gonna randomly read a page from a book the same way you randomly put on a song.
Yeah, exactly. And it is usually...
So music has a very quick and easy way to affect you.
Yeah,
really.
because each song, even if it is a thematic album or like a concept album, each song has to be its own little story, sort of. So they have to evoke strong emotions in about 4 minutes. With 3 to 10 minutes
even
or whatever.
shorter sometimes. Like 2.5 minutes barely.
Yeah. So that's why lyrics sometimes can be so weird, because they don't quite make sense literally, but figuratively it works.
Yeah.
And then it can just hit you. I think it's the
But then you hop on a plane at LAX and hop off a plane at LAX and and everything's good again.
Yeah. And the taxi man puts on the radio, and the Britney song goes on, and the Britney song goes on. Yeah. Oh my god.
We're not talking about the Empyrean specifically, but like that, and like I don't know, any Tenacious D song from The Pick of Destiny, just like instantly. I don't care.
No, but to connect it to the Empyrean, that is. This entire album for me, to varying degrees, has that like immediate effect on me.
Yeah.
Because of just everything, the lyrics, the music, the themes, his thing going on in his life at the time when he was recording it, all that.
It definitely makes sense with
so
what was going on in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because without that context, it almost. Without context, it sounds a little pretentious.
Yeah, well...
But most slow songs sound pretentious if you don't have any context, or it's not a love song.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, even, what's his name? Hosier. A lot of his songs sound so pretentious sometimes.
I know.
Then you, like, actually look at the lyrics and you're like, okay.
What is he...
Take Me to Church.
Oh,
that's
God.
His most...
Is that Hosier? Okay.
Yeah.
Take me to church, then.
That one, yeah.
Okay. That one. Yeah.
That sounds also, if you just listen to the song and the lyrics, it's so pretentious. But like it's not really. Like it's not that deep.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just want to, cuz it's the second half of One More of Me that's so good, because that's also a lot of the songs feels like they're kind of explaining his philosophy and his religion, sort of. It starts with, what's gone will never come back, but it exists when you think of it. Just, oh, that's cool. Because,
Yes.
things disappear, but,
Nothing really disappears as long as anyone remembers it.
Yeah, exactly. And then he said, and what is anything
So-
anyway but a series of thoughts or things running through your brain? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then all of the fucked things you do are the product of what's happened to you. So yeah, everything you create comes from somewhere. And whatever you create from love is a gift from the place which some call above. So he's connecting the whole, godliness with creation, because some people say, divine inspiration, whatever, but it actually comes from in here. It's karate, Jerry. It's here. It's everywhere. I'm sorry.
It's like we always say, everything you produce and write and create comes from something you have experienced.
Yeah.
In a way.
And that is your divine power. And then he ends it with there's only the forces of hate and love. One breaks things down and one builds them up. Yeah, hey, ooh.
Yeah, hey, ooh, exactly.
It's so good, that part. And the way, because he sings it, because when the song starts, he sings it with this very deep voice, which he usually doesn't have. He has a very thin voice usually. Yeah. Both mainly on this album, but also when he kind of sings backing vocals in Red Hot Chili Peppers. But he would choose to go for a super low voice for some reason. And it's almost, I remember the first time I listened, like that's why it was my least favorite in the beginning. Because it was almost like comical, like why is he doing like a weird funny voice? And I don't know to this day why he chose to sing like that, but I've gotten over where it sounds kind of weird, and now I just accept that part. And then when you accept that part, like it's such strong lyrics, especially that second half of the song.
Yeah. It has, wherever I look up the lyrics though, it has a line that has a word in it that's not a word.
Oh? Where are you? I'm looking at Genius lyrics.
I'm at YouTube Music at the moment, but I know I looked it up on Genius as well.
One more of me?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the line?
It's the line, and when we go the other way, ourselves we hurt. It's like almost smack dab in the middle.
Okay, here it says, and that's also what I heard as well. We don't control the chance of place with us, and we get existence back by hurting others. And when we go the other way, it's ourselves we hurt. But who pushes on through, eventually will see every moment's first, every moment is first.
It's ourselves we hurt. Yeah, no, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just, I looked it up in a couple of places, and it's fucked up with weird random signs. I don't know.
That's also kind of the same thing as when he sings "What's gone will never come back, but it exists when you think of it." He mentions something in the first half of the song. It's very, very similar. And he says, "What seems lost is free from the force that slowly destroys us and kills all matter off." Like,
yeah,
it's no longer like confined to just your mortal shell. It's now an idea. It's out there.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Sending you a link, by the way. I found like a.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what to call it. It's a fan site, so it's an introduction to the description of the story of the Empyrean.
yeah, because I know I've listened to interviews like years and years ago. There is a like literal story going on about a person.
What they say, like
stuck
the first
in his
sentence
mind or something.
Yeah. The main character is a creative person who experiences the full spectrum of life's ups and downs.
Yeah.
All dialogue takes place in his mind.
Yeah.
The other character could accurately be called the creative force, which constantly creates and perpetuates existence. It could also be called the energy, which fuels the engine we call the mind, with all of its creative potential.
Yeah. It could also
be called one's true self.
Yeah. Sometimes
which makes sense with what you said that this album came about when he was. Well, we read as well, but he was literally like lost his mind.
No,
depressed.
That was his old album. That was
no, this one too. Oh, right. Sorry.
But this was...
Well, it matches into that whole him being kind of...
Yes, because it's something...
Lost his mind in certain areas.
Yes, because that's... I mean, he's been clean and sober.
Struggling, obviously.
He's like one of those raw vegans, and he's been for like the last 20 years. And he's like one of those ascetic persons who's a minimalist. But it is because, he was like a massive heroin junkie for years.
Yeah.
And, it's his only way to kind of stay away from that is to just stay away from everything except for creation. So, and that's what he talks about in interviews I've seen with him about this and just him in general.
Yeah, and it fits into what this album is then. That it's a discussion with yourself about what creation is and how you can accept it, I guess.
Yeah.
Where creation comes from. My cat is yelling at me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if the sound is going to be picked up. Whatever.
No, yeah, whenever you speak, there's like a ee sound in the background. So maybe it's some sort of sound that you can't hear, but they hear. If you talk?
Or it's the washing machine. I don't know.
Oh, that might be it, because now it's gone. Okay, yeah.
But she's also yelling, and I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah, and it's him. He as the character then, is struggling a little bit with creativity and having to figure it out,
understand your creativity and not be afraid of it, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, and then they mention then, on the path to merging with the Force, material life and the self, the fluctuating, impermanent self, as determined by conditioning and environment, will at times seem meaningless. That's the thing, yeah. And that's where I read into maybe that death is not the end, it's just another step in life. It's part of life,
you go from Earth to Nangiala to whatever the third one is.
Yeah, exactly.
Nangilima,
yeah, exactly. It's like you said. What was it exactly he said? What seems lost is free from the force that slowly destroys us. Then you're free, which is morbid, but it's also it's true. That comes back to my King 180 video, because that's also like that trilogy of albums is about someone who fears death, someone who accepts death, and then someone who is like reborn from death. Yeah. That's the three albums, that at least the way I interpret it. And I think that is a very, very strong theme to talk about. A very strong,
a very healthy way to see it.
Yeah, exactly. To kind of, there's no point in being afraid of death.
No, because it's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Like, everyone's gonna die, bro. Just accept it.
But as far as we know, and the way that you decide to believe in everything, it doesn't have to be the end.
No, yeah, exactly. And it's also, like we said, once again, it exists when you think of it. So, and it's, I know it's kind of a cop out, and some people have been very cynical about it. But the way Keanu Reeves talked about it, have you heard when he, what's his name?
No.
Colbert. You know Colbert?
Yeah.
The guy, the talk show host. He did like some quick questions to Keanu Reeves, and one of them was, what do you something like, what do you think happens to us after death? And he says, well, I know that the ones who love us will miss us. And I was like,
yeah.
It's kind of like super basic, but also so profound, because it's true. And you're in a way still,
that is true.
You're around still because of that.
It's another artist, and I can't for the life of me remember which one. It's a pop artist. It's not as deep, but they have a similar line.
Sure.
Which is like, everyone's afraid to be forgotten, and that's why they seek this 50 minutes of fame kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you're just a good person, you will be remembered by the people who actually loved you.
Yeah.
And that is to pass on your legacy.
Yeah.
You don't have to be put in the history books to have your legacy be passed on.
No.
As long as someone remembers you for the good things you did, your legacy will live on.
Yeah, it's you can almost say it's quality over quantity. You can have 1 million people remember you for that funny TikTok you made, or your 10, 12 closest family and friends can remember you as what a fucking
one
great
person.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say it's Katy Perry, but I'm not sure.
I
Like, I don't know, but that's the name that popped in my head. But yeah, that's part of what the Empyrean is talking about, I think.
Yes, exactly. Not being afraid anymore of just letting go, because that's also when you can create the most, if you have no boundaries anymore. Yeah. That's why I love that album.
He also says in one of them, was it in God, maybe? I need to look up the lyrics to be able to say that for real. You mentioned it, something about without the bad things, there's no good things.
Yeah, that's also from One More of Me.
I think he mentions in the reason for the bad is so that there be such things as good. That's from God.
Oh, okay.
He says it in multiple songs.
Yeah. It's a repeating theme that comes back over and over again. Yeah.
That's also a thing with this. Like, you need to suffer to be able to appreciate the good things.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I like about music.
Yes.
I have to fucking suffer through 12 minutes of beep bop 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 beep bop bop in Starless by King Crimson.
Yeah.
But you learn to appreciate that, because then you have, after like 8 minutes of that, you have the crescendo when it comes back to the opening riff, and it's like, oh, whoa, you know.
Sure. Sometimes though it's unbearable, and when you can choose not to do it, it's fine.
Sure.
But the deeper meaning of like through strife comes no, there's some other way that people say it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Struggle comes reward or something?
Yeah, something like that. Pain and gain. No pain, no gain.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
Which I'm awful with. I don't like the pain. I just want the gain.
Yeah,
whatever.
Me too, honestly.
In certain aspects of life.
Well, yeah, when it comes to creative stuff, definitely. Like, once again,
I'm getting better with that,
the other day, I started writing a script. Controversial. With the help of ChatGPT. Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you!
Just to help me with structure. The story's mine. The characters are mine. I'm just saying, it's just to help me with structure.
Sure.
But and it always happens in the middle of the night also. I think I'm more creative at night. But that's bad, because I started writing at like 1, and all of a sudden it's 4 a.m. and I was like, I gotta, like, even though I don't have to get up in the morning, I still have to I have to get up in the morning.
You have to keep a regular schedule in case you one day have to get up in the morning again.
Yeah. It's like I wrote like the opening scenes, like 4. How many pages is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 pages. And it's just like, oh, like this is so much fun. Like, oh, we can keep writing, especially then because I have help with the structure, because it's easier than me just sitting down and typing. And now I haven't written anything yesterday. I haven't written anything today. Okay.
You need to find little rewards in the middle of it all.
I think yeah. That's
you know what? Post it on, like, what's it called? Not Wattpad, the other one.
I don't know.
Oh, there's another one that's less smutty, I guess. Where people just post, basically. You can post whole books there if you want to. Maybe it is Wattpad, by the way. I don't know. They don't only do that stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway,
just post and get reaction, because it'll be that little instant, like, gratification. And just, oh yes, someone wants to read more, and I'll continue writing.
Yeah. Or I just have to break through that.
Sure.
That force that slowly destroys
30
us.
years.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have finished some things, but it's a long time since I finished anything. You
need to accept, like John says, you need to accept that sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean that's
ask yourself, is it worth it? Yes, it is.
That's also why I love this album so much, because I see so much of me in it. Like, God damn it, I could be so much more if I just let go of that thing that stops me. That's why it's very, very emotional, very affecting for me.
Sure. No, I can understand that.
Are there any karaoke versions of these songs? I'll just enter
Probably. There's always a karaoke version on YouTube.
See if I can find one. Because then we're going to wrap it up. We actually managed to do like an hour almost, so...
Sure, yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. And you don't have to stay around for this, but if there is one, I'll edit it in here. One more of me karaoke. Hey, instrumental. It wasn't there. Whatever. Anyway, that's gonna have to be it for this episode.
Yes. We might do a reverse one where I get to choose an album, but I wouldn't know what album, so it'll take a while, I guess.
Yeah.
For me to figure that out.
It would have to be something.
And I'm gonna have a harder time to convince you, I think, that the music I enjoy is.
And I don't want to say
as profound.
Yeah, but like we said, music doesn't have to be profound to be good.
No.
But like when we talk about movies, there's definitely more to talk about when the movie is layered and complex.
When there's depth to it,
instead of like, it's really catchy.
Yes.
That's it. You know. Yeah.
Sure. But most music does come from something. Even though it's a simpler song, it usually has, a theme at least. They were thinking about something when they wrote it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I'm sure I can figure something out.
Yeah.
I just want to force you to listen to K-pop, basically.
Yeah.
I need to figure out a K-pop album that works.
Well, the one with Harry Potter.
No, because that album doesn't have that many songs, actually.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
just one good song on that album.
Oh, that one is so funny. That's Stray Kids, right?
That is Stray Kids, yes.
Because they're walking on water like Harry Potter.
Stray Kids.
Yeah. Oh my!
You just caught that line.
I'll never forget.
There are
that
better
one.
songs.
Yeah.
That one is like one of their. I think it's one of their like kind of jokey "We're the best people in the world" songs, where they don't really care.
Yeah. Anyway,
anywho,
we'll wrap it up.
I'll find an album. We'll do this sometime in the future.
Should we, like we do with movies, like see if there's any reviews?
I was trying to find like a site for that. Is there a letterboxd for music? I don't know. I couldn't find anything.
Discog? I'm not sure. It has a Metascore.
On where?
Metacritic.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Of course, you go on Metacritic. Duh, I forgot that was a website.
There's no link, but there's a Metacritic. Because they do music and video games and all, The Empyrean.
Pitchfork? Rolling Stones?
Games, movies, TV shows.
Rolling Stone.
They don't have it anymore? They used to do music. It has, on Wikipedia, it has a... Oh, hold on, let me do this. Empyrean Reviews. There we go. User, okay, yeah. 69 out of 100, which, hey, 69 is nice. Way too low for me, but the highest it got there was from Observer Music Monthly, gave it 8 out of 10. It said, John Frusciante has carved out a parallel world as a solo artist over a series of intensely personal and brilliantly realized albums. His 10th, the Empyrean, is his most ambitious to date. That was boring. Now Magazine gave it 8 out of 10. Says the Empyrean is an engaging collection of brilliant soundscapes, fancy guitar work, and some intriguing electronica flourishes. They're not cutting very deep here. Alternative Press, 8 out of 10. The Empyrean ultimately proves that if things don't work out with his main gig, Frusciante is has a healthy slap bass career ahead. This is boring. All of them were just pointing out, like, hey, you can actually make good music on his own. It's like, yeah, he did that for years before this. What are you talking about?
Did we know that?
Yeah. Sputnik Music, 7 out of 10.
Oh, I found a website, actually, that kind of is like Letterboxd, but for music, it seems.
What is it called?
RateYourMusic.com. Wait, I'll send you the link for the Empyrean specifically. It has similar, like...
But is it
setup?
Is it just like Like,
But it's user reviews,
Okay.
it seems, yes. But that's what I wanted to find, because I wanted to read what people think about it, like, that aren't...
Sure. Professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And they have the same stupid kind of comments, just like in
Of
Letterboxd.
course.
Because one of them says, Obama gets inaugurated, John releases a new album, what a beautiful day.
Yeah, because it's released... Oh, it's actually released on January 20th, 2009. That's kind of funny.
Yep.
Which is Inauguration Day, January 20th. 3.65 out of 5. Huh.
Yeah.
The 89th best album of 2009, according to Rate Your Music. The 7,722nd best album of all time. Okay.
Which I have a hard time computing, because I feel like there's so many albums in the world throughout history that how do you rank that?
Yeah, well, that is... they're obviously aggregating what everyone has given every
Sure.
album, you know.
Yeah, because this 3.65 is out of 2,499 ratings.
Yeah, exactly.
On this website. Which is a lot.
Yeah. Here, you gave it 3.5. I mean... but that's also, like, music is so... Even for, like we said, because it's a lot more personal the way you listen to music than even when you watch a movie or read a book.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard time being, like, objective in reviewing this.
Yes.
It's a 5 out of 5 for me. Like, it's a 6 out of 5 for me. This is just...
Yeah.
But I guess it's almost like every one of my favorite albums is like, oh, the best album ever.
Of course.
It's harder to be
especially
objective,
at the time. But if you look at it like from a technical viewpoint, it is well made.
Yeah.
There is there's a reason for the effects they used and all that stuff. It's like there's this one clip from an interview with Billie Eilish and her brother about how they use the most stupid things to put into the songs that make the most nice details. That's the kind of like craft they put into their songs.
But I just saw like immediately here the second review that comes up. And it's a long one, but the part here says
by Pixies Fanyo.
Yeah, and it says although the Empyrean has few criticism, its lack of straying from his previous work may be a problem for some. Curtains, DCEP, and the other records Frusciante released before the Empyrean pointed towards a more personal and intimate take, where his latest, in reality, rivals Shadows Collide with People, both of them existing as his most bombastic and approachable releases. Dark Light, the song on the album, Dark/Light, comes off as an embellished B-side to record Water for Only 10 Days. One More of Me, which features a string quartet, feels overbloated and entirely out of place. It certainly is not a bad song, just a bad choice for this particular record, as it focuses almost entirely on a Frusciante vocal performance, where most of the rest of the album is mainly concerned with textural, atmospheric musical elements.
But maybe that's why you wanted to put it in, to break it up a little bit.
Yeah. And
because there's a whole process to picking the songs you put in an album as well.
Yeah. And
you can have like 100 songs be listed for it, and then you end up with 12.
And then it's like, it's a bit more approachable than his earlier stuff. He mentioned it specifically to record Water for Only 10 Days. That one, he might have been sober for that one, but it is just as weird and fucked up as Neanderlades and Usually Just a T-shirt. It is super weird. It's just
sometimes you're just not in the mood to write that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Sometimes you want to write something lighter, something more approachable.
Yeah. And yeah, sure, this is definitely more approachable than that. Some of it like just sounds straight up like it could have been a Red Hot Chili Pepper song.
Sure. Yeah.
But
they just would have sped it up a bit.
Yeah. But I don't see that as a bad thing because there's still so much put into the music with the lyrics and all that just because it's approachable doesn't make it simple in a bad way.
No.
I don't know. I
again, you can have days where you want simpler music, more approachable music, and then you have days when you want the song to make you want to cry and kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You can have different emotions.
Yeah.
put into music. You don't have, just because your first few albums were extremely deep and sad and difficult, doesn't mean every single song you release after that has to be the same.
Yeah.
You're allowed to change and reflect and experiment, really.
Yeah.
Same with writing. Just because you usually write horror novels doesn't mean you always have to write horror novels. You can change.
Yeah.
Might not be as good, but at least you can try.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. And I think on that note, we'll end this episode.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening or watching on YouTube.
Honestly, let us know what you thought of this little change.
And it's something we should change with the format, since we're talking about music.
Yeah.
And
criticism is welcome of the way we did the things, not what we thought of the music.
Yeah. You cannot criticize that.
No, you're entitled to your opinion when it comes to music.
And also just want to say, we're not going to become a music podcast. This was just because, honestly, since I'm traveling this weekend, it's midsummer weekend here in Sweden. Is it everywhere? Maybe I don't know. Whatever.
No, it's a Scandi thing.
So we literally didn't have time to go watch the movie we're going to watch for this week. 28 weeks later.
Yeah. Years later.
28 years later, sorry. And like we said, I had been thinking about pivoting the podcast anyways. I was just like, let's go for it this time.
Yeah.
Let's do a music
We've talked
episode.
about trying new things for
a while. I mean, for years I've wanted to do different things, but then I was like, no, we got to do the popular
discussed
thing.
It
yeah.
Around Christmas we started talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
Actually talking about it.
Yeah. So
this was the first of future how many attempts of doing something different, but we will always have movies every now and then.
There's always going to be mainly movies, yeah. We'll come back with music here and there, but movies. But
maybe we'll do something else as well, who knows?
Yeah, video games. We've talked about doing books, but I'm so bad at reading, so yeah.
Yeah. YouTubers, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and if you like more ranty stuff like that, we go down some rabbit holes on Patreon and on the members episodes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. It gets a little too spicy
really
sometimes.
Weird sometimes. Spicy.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
It gets weird. Yeah, definitely.
It gets heated sometimes.
So if you wanna listen to really ranty stuff, maybe not super PC, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene or become a member here on YouTube. Definitely Patreon, because we have hundreds of episodes there.
Yes, the YouTube ones are not as many because
we've just started there.
Recently started putting them there.
Yeah. But anyway.
But the backlog is on Patreon.
Yes. Next week we'll do a movie. Don't know if we're gonna do a new movie or not. But we'll do something.
Because we're kind of slowing down to get to our summer vacation period.
Summer break. We're also going to do something a little bit different this year, because we're still going to have episodes for the summer break, but they're going to be pre-recorded. So
yes,
we're going to do lists.
Yeah,
I'll say that we have one already figured out more or less. It's going to be top 10? I think top 10 horror sequels that are actually good or maybe even better than original.
Yeah, that was a hard one to work on, but we know that's one of the titles.
Yeah. Anyway.
But more on that during summer,
so
stick around to find out.
So for now, once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next week. But until then, have a good one. Bye! The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and hosted by Tobias Vedén. Co-host is Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. CK85, Christopher Bylén, Daniel Gaiso, Annika Vedén, Jacob, Mom and Mac, and Laura Kinney.